Man, how people lamented last year when Mark and Travis had to tell the world that they had to kick Tom out of the band. Longtime Blink fans felt absolutely devastated. It was the end of an era to most. But the whole time that was going on, I was over in the back of the room saying, good fucking riddance! Your heart hasn't been in it since Take Off Your Pants. Go do some of that space rock wank bullshit you love so much, or chase down aliens, or, I don't know, just do what you did back when I saw Angels and Airwaves back in 2009. Get drunk and fail! And the comment section just broke. Well, damn it. Look, as brilliant as the self-titled album was, it just happened to be a fortunate byproduct of the absolute chaos that was going on with the guys internally. Look, that kind of magical lightning-in-a-bottle miracle just doesn't happen twice, as Neighborhoods soundly proved. Look, Blink-182 was not going to survive as long as Tom was part of the group. They just weren't. So when the band announced that Matt Skiba was going to be Tom's replacement, I couldn't have been more stoked. Not just because I'm a big Alkaline Trio fan, but because Skiba is a guy who clearly still loves and understands how to write pop punk. And actually wants to write pop punk. And on California, he shows that he was clearly the right man for the job. My god, this album is so good, I feel like shitty southern senators will try to ban it soon. It kicks open the door with the lightning fast, cynical, bored to death, and she's out of her mind. Keeps that intensity going with tracks like Kings of the Weekend, Rabbit Hole, and The Only Thing That Matters, and even takes a few smaller cues from the self-titled album with a few reflective and more mature cuts like Los Angeles, San Diego, and Home is Such a Lonely Place. This album actually feels like the proper follow-up to the self-titled album we never got. You know, not just a Blink-182 album that's being forced at gunpoint to be an Angels and Airwaves crossover. It's pretty much everything I could have hoped for. Mark Hoppus is playing with a newfound intensity in life, layering thick, juicy bass chords and riffage to hammer those choruses home, and singing with a passion we haven't heard since Take Off Your Pants. Travis still hasn't lost his touch, and on songs like Sober, No Future, and Left Alone, his absolutely maniacal cymbal and tom placement carries the songs completely on their own. His style has so much variation and color. Travis plays drums the way John Frusciante plays guitar, and my god, tell me you wouldn't want to see that crossover. And Skiba slides in effortlessly as the new guitarist and vocalist. You know another good reason why I love Skiba so much as a replacement? He can actually sing! Look, Tom's voice was serviceable for bratty teenage pop punk, but the more this band matured, the more his whiny, nasally, screeching towards the high notes approach felt out of place. But Skiba's got a much more clean and flexible set of pipes, and he absolutely sells every chorus, verse, and refrain just as hard as he would be on an Alkaline Trio album, and that's what I wanted to see. Honest to God, I was feeling so good about this album, I did something I often try to avoid and decided to look up other reviews just to see how much everyone else was enjoying this wonderful— What the fucking fuck? Wow! Like, I had a small feeling this album might be a bit divisive, but Jesus, I wasn't expecting this. Where's all the hate coming from? Well, some people hated that producer John Feldman's touches were kind of all over it. Man, what do y'all got against Goldfinger? And, well, being fair, I can see where you're coming from there, but I don't think it hurts the sound, really. If anything, his approach helps make these songs feel modern and in place with a 2016 musical atmosphere. Others said they hated the album's here and there instances of goofy humor. Did y'all just forget you were listening to a Blink-182 album? Look, I get that you missed the self-titled album. We all missed the self-titled album. But after the monumental stick up its ass that Neighborhoods had, I'm relieved to see these guys still have a bit of levity in them. Though the biggest thing that I think is making people dislike this album is just their clamoring to get the same thing over again. Like, some people just seem to want another self-titled, or another Enema of the State. A lot of people seem to be going into this album with certain expectations of what Blink should be. And Well, I guess if you're just married to the album you love so much, sure you'll be disappointed with it. But if you're like me and you just want to see a bunch of talented guys who you know are capable of doing new and brilliant things make new and brilliant things, then this is an album chock full of new and brilliant things. You totally shouldn't miss out on it. I mean, depending on what you're into, your mileage may vary with this album. Okay, I'm willing to concede that, but for whatever my opinion may be worth, I had an absolute blast with this record, and I say you should at least give it the chance to impress you. Go into this one with an open mind. Trust me, this album is great, and I promise you it sounds way better than anything we would have gotten with Dirtface McAlien Hunter. California gets 4.5 and stay outs out of 5.